Hi guys, Eric in the alley again. Today I'm still putting a power steering pump on my neighbor Ronnie's Cadillac. It's an '88 sedan Deville. He's the one that owns a PT Cruiser. I put the timing chain on, and whenever I was working on that, he started driving this. It usually stays under the carport, and almost immediately a power steering hose blew a line. It's a little bit difficult getting it in. I'll show you in a second. It's a pretty wrapped up line, but that's not what the video's about. What I'm doing is like I'm thinking ahead of things I can use the scope for whenever I'm done, doing the problem that I'm addressing, which is the power steering hose. I have some things that I got in a trade that I got a Modus that came with the. It's an older Modus. It's like a 2006 Modus, so it came with a lot of the OBD1 stuff. A lot of it was never used, so this is a 88, so it has the ALDL under the dash in the center. We should have an adapter for that. It did come with the ignition kit, and it has the coil end cap 1 and 2. One of these will definitely fit that HEI. I have been using some of these with my HS512, the Handtech. The RCA jack adapts to the banana jacks or the BNC, so we could get a signal on any scope really with these. But I just want to see how good they pick up on there. I've been impressed by some of the coil-over plugs. Now that'd be the HEI. Maybe we could get all 8 in a parade pattern. I mean, we could do, various tests. One of the things I wanted to do, especially from this setting, is check out the fuel pump, like the current draw, see if we could see, the segments on there, if any of them look different from not moving as much. He does start it up every now and again because the battery did have a draw. The air rods, it was activating and, all night long, basically, every now and again, until it would kill the battery. It's a newer battery, but even when I took the battery out of the car and charged it, it didn't pass. So for, it's a 10 to 22 battery. If it wasn't drawn and didn't need jump that much, it would still be good, I'd imagine. But a lot of walnut husks under there. I'm going to clean that all out for them. But a charging test, of course, would be something we could use the scope on. One thing in the future I'm going to have to do more is I want to use the pressure transducer on fuel rails, and I don't have a lot of adapters to go from that to the scope. So that's something I could work on. I don't know if I'm going to get into the fuel side this time, but definitely anything you could think of ahead of time. And if you get it out, get it ready while you're still working on the car. One thing I'm doing also is replacing the O2 sensor because it's a real doozy to get to, and it's a factory one. So putting a Bosch Premium in it while I'm under there before I put the exhaust pipe back on. I'm going to back probe it while I'm under there. So that way it's easy to remove the back probes, but it's hard to probe it with the exhaust in place. So it'll be a pretty, easy way to just put the probes in while I'm putting it there, because I know even though I'm not looking for a problem, I want to see what that Bosch sensor looks like, because we have no scan data to look at. So, and that's why I usually do when I replace an O2 sensor, at least the scan data, see if it's swinging, see what it looks like, because even though it's not real time, the scan data is going to show you a really wonky sensor, for sure. Other things like the pulse sensor, I mean, those are all good passive things you could do on it, like the pressure transducer in the cylinder. I reserve that for like whenever I'm going to change spark plugs anyways, because there's a lot of engines. Just for your own knowledge, you don't want to tear out a spark plug. You could, an aluminum head, you might really cause yourself a headache. But things like that, like nobody's going to mind. If you have the car, they're not in a rush. If you do a charging system test with your scope, if you just get used to using the scope, hooking it up, even if you only have a single channel scope and 2 leads, there's tests you could do, and it's going to further you. Even if you hook up something wrong, as long as you don't damage anything, well, even if you do damage something, you're going to learn. It's going to be a lesson. until you get the right signals on the, till you see what you want to see. When you get your time bases down, when you get everything the way you want to see, it's going to take a lot of practice, and then there's, you know, no better times to start. But anyways, guys, that's what I'm going to be doing. Do like RC tests, anything like that. After I get this exhaust on, I'm going to make a little video, and you guys could check it out if you want. It's going to be all the HEI and the O2 sensor going to be run on H-scope, probably on Handtech, the 1008C, and the Modus. I mean, you know, even the U-scope. If somebody's interested in seeing that, you know, drop a comment, because it'll probably be tomorrow by the time I get this back together and start testing. That's what I like. That's pretty much that box and that box what I use to do the mechanical work, and I like it whenever I get to that box and we get to start doing some scoping. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Adios. I almost forgot to show you guys the car and the power steering line. There's an 88. I mean, pretty good shape. It does sit on gravel. That's what I think the lines are getting a little bit of the rust from. But you could tell it doesn't move much. He just keeps it. He liked the car. He always wanted one. He's had it for years now. And it, you know, you open up the door, it smells like a Cadillac still. That's crazy. Must be in their seats. But this is the line. And if this is where the radiator is, this is where the engine is. So the engine wraps the whole way around the driver's side of the car into the rack and the whole way to the pump. And it went down here right on the corner. And as you see right where I kicked it, it's still leaking out of. But the way that is, I didn't just want to piece that together for him or flare it, because the line just keeps getting worse as you go. All right, guys, I just figured I'd give you a quick look at the car, because I just showed you the engine the first time. All right.